Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Frogget Yarns podcast. My name is Tasha, and along with my husband Brian, we are the people, the humans behind Frogget Yarns, hand-dyed yarns, and mobile yarn truck. So if you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. I'm so happy that you're joining me again this week. I've got an Earl Grey this morning. This is my second cup of tea. This one's got a little more kick to it. Grab a cozy beverage, join me, and let's chat about all of the things. Let me put this down. I shouldn't say I don't have any finished objects. I do. I just can't show you. I did finish the March Granny Square for our Lily Pad Club color. So I can't show you that just yet, but it's done. So I can now join January, February, and March squares together and get the top row of my blanket all put together and see how I'm feeling about it. So the March square is done. I just can't show you that yet. So that's it for finished objects. Nothing much to see. I do have a new cast on. I have no business casting anything on. None at all. But I have been wearing, I made a Douglas Cardi by Andrea Mowry a couple of years ago, and I have been wearing it nonstop. And I just made it with some random one skein colors that I had, plus some of my hand spun. But I wanted something a little more put together. So here's the Douglas Cardi. It's just a nice, oversized grandpa cardigan. I love it. So what I'm using is our Luxe DK. And I did put a picture of this on our Instagram, I think yesterday. So I'm using our Luxe DK. And it's bottom up, so I just have my bottom ribbing. This is Mushroom Bisque. And this is a new color, Mahogany. And I mean, I've just barely started. Look at my cute little progress keeper from, of course, from Kelsey, Littlest Charm Co. It's just this adorable little frog with a daisy. But my other colors are, so Mushroom Bisque, that's Mahogany. I'm also going to be using Pressed Petals, gotta have a pink. A new color, Fresco, which is the tonal pairing to Dunfermline Abbey. So this is part of our Scotland collection, these two. This is the multi and the pairing tonal. So those are my colors. There's Mushroom Bisque. The mushroom will only be for the ribbing, the cuffs, and the collar. Then I went through my button stash because I'm always buying buttons. I love to get my buttons at the shows from Dusty's Vintage Buttons. You can only see her at shows, so I collect them every time I go. So I found this set of, like, I don't know, is that mother of pearl? But they have that beautiful sheen and that little bit of pink. So those sitting on the mushroom, I think it's going to be beautiful. So that's my new cast on, the Douglas Cardi by Andrea Mowry, using our Luxe DK, and it feels divine. I'm so excited. And I got to pull out a bag that I haven't been able to use yet. Look at the frogs under his little quilt with his little cup of tea. This is a bag by Squirrel Fibers. So Amy Beth, the Fat Squirrel. And it's just the perfect size bag, but I could not resist the frog under the quilt with his cup of tea. So that's a new cast on. So let's move into whips. I haven't put quite as much into the Traveler Cowl. I moved my marker up after last week, and so I've only done a little bit, but this is the Traveler Cowl, also by Andrea Mowry. And this is in our Rambouillet DK, which is non-superwash 100% Rambouillet. It's nice and squishy. That hasn't seen much work this week. To be fair, it's been a very heavy dye week. Dyeing for the trailer and getting that all ready so that it's not a mad rush at the end. So there hasn't been a lot of knitting time. I also have my February Christmas socks. I think I have decided on a different approach for these, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. So the first one is ready to have the heel put in. So I've got my normal number. I've got 60 rounds plus the cuff. So I love the little big stripes and then 2 babies and then big. And I think I'll get ready to go into 2 smaller ones here soon. So this is also a little Valentine's stitch marker by Kelsey. So that one's ready for its heel. And I have the other one going. I just barely started on the color. So the cuff is done. So I'll do that down to the heel and then put both the heels in one. What I think I'm going to do going forward is Mr. Froggett has a circular sock machine. I got it for him a couple of Christmases ago, and I would love for him to teach me how to use it so I can crank out the tubes and then I can add the heels and the toes. He can, or the cuffs and the toes. He can do the heels on the machine for me, but if not, at the very least, he can crank out my tube. I can go in and add my cuff, cut in a heel if I'm brave enough, and add the toe for all of these Christmas socks every month, because I'm finding that I can't work on any other socks while doing these Christmas socks. So I think I might, every month when I open the bag, just have him crank me out the tubes, and then I can still hand knit another pair of socks. I love knitting socks. They're super easy to take with you everywhere. I rarely ever do anything special as far as a pattern. I just like nice vanilla socks. So I think that might be what I try going forward, is have him teach me how to crank the tubes myself, and then I can add in the other bits to finish them off, and then that frees up my time to knit other socks. So that might be what I work on for March going forward. The last work in progress that I have is last year's club blanket. I have been stuck on November's colorway forever. November's colorway is finally done. So this is Scottish Sea Treasures, and the mini, which is now available as a full-size skein, is called Chestnut Shells. So that is done, and I just started December, which is Victoria Street. So that's the color for December, Victoria Street. And then I have the mini somewhere. Here it is. The mini is just this hot pink. This is called Deep Pink. So I can see the finish line, folks. And then my Scotland blanket will be done. And that'll be done. So I'm happy about that. Happy that that is getting down to the nitty gritty. So that's it for whips. My Christmas socks, my blanket, my cowl, my new cast on. That's all I got. There hasn't been a lot of knitting this week, like I said, because it's been a busy dye week and I'm still having elbow elbow pain, a lot of elbow pain. So I don't want to keep aggravating that. Let's just say that. So let's move on to shop news. The March Lily Pad Club color pre-order is live now. We usually put it on pre-order the 15th, which would be the day that you're seeing this, but with February being a short month, we put it on pre-order a few days early. So it went on pre-order the 12th. You guys hit it like all day long. So in case you didn't see, our book for March is A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. And I did not grab the color palette sheet, but watery blues, greens, some gray, like you can see it on our socials. The charms are almost gone. And I know this happened last month too. I have, as of this morning, which is Friday morning at 10:30 a.m., I have 5 charms left. That's it. So here's the charm. This amazing little typewriter with the key. It's even got the gold corners, the weathered pages, and then on the spine, she even put some of that gold filigree. So there are 5 of these left, and then that's it. I can't get any more. They're already on their way to me, or they will be soon. And so that's it. 5 left. I love that you love them. It makes my heart sing every time I see an order come through and you've added the charm, and they are going quickly. So if you want a charm, I would do it sooner rather than later, because February sold out and I wasn't able to put any extras up on the website. So when they're gone, that's it. So they are live now. The pre-order stays live until the 28th. If you miss out on the pre-order, we have 4 shops that get yarn, 2 in North Carolina and 2 in PA. And I always list them and tag them on our socials, but it is the Salty Sheep Yarn Shop in Swansboro, North Carolina. It is Oak City Fibers in Raleigh. He's also in North Carolina. It is You and Me York in York, PA, and String Theory Yarn Shop in Lemoyne, PA. Those are the only 4 shops that get club, that you can visit them or call them after the 1st of the month. They don't get it until usually the day before the 1st of the month. I always time that out to do that. Reminder that today for you, if you're watching this on Saturday, February 15th, is the last day that Love Struck will be available. I have 3 sets left, 3 full-size sets, and then they're gone. I'm not dyeing anymore. I'm not taking pre-orders. This was our Valentine's set. So all these beautiful pinks and deeper pinks with some purple. And then you get 3 minis with the set. I only have fingering weight left. Everything else is gone. So there are 3 of these in the shop. And then that's it. When they're gone, they're gone. If there's still 3 left at the end of the day on Saturday the 15th, I might just leave them in there, but only because like that's all the stock that I have. So when they're gone, they're gone. Also, a reminder, I haven't reminded you guys in a while that we still have clearance yarn. So our 3 non-superwash bases from last year are still on clearance. So our Blended DK, our Polworth Silk Sport, and our Targhee Fingering are all still on clearance. They're trickling out of here, so numbers are getting down. But once we start shows, that will be moved into the truck to take to shows. So it will come off the website during show season. Just be aware of that. It's too hard to monitor that. Since I can't dye anymore, I have to keep close eye on stock numbers. So once I put it in the trailer to take to a show, it's coming off the website. Also, our Surrey Silk Cloud, so our brush Surrey alpaca with silk, is on sale, $24 a skein. We were going to, I don't know, tell me your opinion. So originally we put that on sale so we could bring in a new Surrey silk base, which is exactly the same, except it's got more yardage. So it more closely matches like a full-size skein of yarn. But now we have the yak fluff. And so I'm not sure that I need 2 fluffs, because remember, it's a trailer. So I have to maximize my space. The only difference between the two is A, the yak fluff has more yardage, and it is a warm gray base to start with, so not the natural creamy base. It still has alpaca. It's got alpaca, wool, silk, and yak, versus the Surrey silk, which is just baby Surrey alpaca and silk. So what is your opinion on that? Do you prefer the colors on the white base with just the Surrey and silk versus only having the yak fluff, which in my opinion, the colors are richer and deeper because it's going on a slightly darker base. It's not super dark. It's just that warm gray base. I don't know. I don't know that I need both, but I don't want to not have the white base as an option if people love that. So yeah, just kind of weigh in below in the comments and let me know what you think. If I don't have both fluffs, I can bring in the yak in a DK weight. So we have our yak fingering that we introduced this year. My same distributor is coming out with that same base in a DK weight. So because it's a trailer and I don't have room to have every base, if I get rid of the Surrey and just keep the yak fluff, then I can also bring in a yak DK. If I keep the Surrey but switch it over to the Surrey silk with more yardage, then I can't bring in the yak DK. Just something to think about. That's what's been going on in my mind this week. So that's it for shop news. So let's move on to book chat. And we have some chatting to do. Let me tell you. So our February book, the one that inspired our February color, is The Hurricane Wars by Thea Gwanzin. I love the way the yarn came out. So did all of you. But let me tell you, I finished this book and I'm not sure what to say about it. I won't spoil it. I will just say I didn't love it. I never felt a connection to any of the characters. When it says on the back, intricate world building, absolutely. Unique magic, yes, I would agree. Smoldering romance, no. I'm not even sure what happened in this book could be considered a romance at all. There was zero romance. That's all I can say about that. It is a lot of world building. And I started reading this in physical form with my eyeballs, and I just couldn't do it. So I switched to audiobook, and I think that's the only reason I got through it, because I could listen to it and sadly tune a lot of it out. I didn't love it. I'm just going to be honest. And not every book is going to be a winner. I understand that. I do have the second one, There is a sequel called A Monsoon Rising, and honestly, the only reason I'm thinking about picking up the second one at some point, not anytime soon, is to see if they redeem themselves, to see if the main characters do the right thing, and to see if she writes a better book, because I won't even say the writing was bad. It just was a lot of words. A lot of words, not a lot of plot. I didn't love it. Yeah, I didn't love it. So I did finish that. That's how I feel about that. I didn't love it. I love the cover. And, you know, the club is about the color. So that's that. I also finished A Pirate's Life for Tea. This is book 2 in the Tomes and Tea series. These are cozy fantasies. And I love these. These are easy to read. It's not a complicated plot. It's low stakes. It's very, very cozy. And I love that the characters have a tea shop, which is also a bookshop. It's like, add a yarn section to that and I'm living the dream. Give me a book, tea, and yarn shop and I'm set. But I finished this and I was so happy that I did. The third one comes out next month, so I'll be very happy to grab that. That is by Rebecca Thorne. I think this is slated to be a 4-book series. And I think the 4th one comes out towards the end of the year. So I love these. I read the first one, which is Can't Spell Treason Without Tea. And they're just very cozy, very easy to read. I love reading these before bed. In that hour and a half before I go to bed, I turn off my phone and I just cozy up with one of these and it's a good read. So I recommend these. Very good, very cute. Like I said, just a cozy fantasy. There's not a lot of world building. There's not an intricate, complicated plot. It's just very straightforward and just a fun time. So I finished that. I also finished, it was a busy reading week, book 4 of my Frerin manga series. This is also described as fantasy, and it is. This is Frerin. She's like a 500 or 1,000-year-old mage. And these are just fun. They are manga style, so there's not a lot of reading. It's a lot of pictures and it's quick reading. So I love these. I'm ready to move on to book 5 and continue with that. I like to read those between books, or I mean, I can read one in about an hour. So yeah, so easy to do. Audio, I'm still listening to Children of Fallen Gods, which is book 2 in the War of Lost Heart series by Carissa Broadbent. I listened to the first one, which is A Daughter of No Worlds, and I'm loving it so much. New starts. I have just started. I'm only literally 3% in. Metal Slinger by Rachel Schneider. I know nothing about this book other than it is fantasy and it's getting a lot of hype on the internet. So started that. That's my Kindle read. And my new physical read is A Language of Dragons by S.F. Williamson. I haven't even started this. I put my bookmark in and that's it. So I'm excited to start this. This is a standalone, so low stakes, not low stakes. I don't know anything about it other than I don't have to read 7 books. I'm also waiting for the release of Rebel Witch, which is the sequel to Heartless Hunter, which I read last year and loved. And that comes out Tuesday. So there will be a bookstore trip next week. So I'm excited for that. And that, I think, is everything. Yeah. Let me know in the chat, in the comments, how you feel about the Surrey and the yak, having both, having only the one. Have you started any new projects this week? Have you started any new books this week? Like I said, I had no business starting a new cardigan, but we don't have a sample of the Luxe DK. And I'm 51 years old. I can do what I want. So yeah, it'll be fun. It knits up really fast. And I know that I was supposed to start my no frills cardigan, but you know, I'm a mood knitter as much as I am a mood reader. So when the mood strikes, I take it. Did you read? That was the other thing I forgot to ask. Did you read the Hurricane Wars? We're still chatting about it in the Discord. By the way, the Discord will be linked below along with everything else that I've talked about, where you can find our yarn. We're chatting about it in the Discord. I will open a thread for our March book. Just in case anyone starts it early, you don't have to wait till March to start it. But let me know if you have read or are reading our February book, The Hurricane Wars, and what your thoughts are on it. I did reopen my Goodreads just so I could leave a review, and I gave it 2 stars. So I almost DNF'd it. I'm not going to lie. If I would have had to continue reading it with my eyeballs, I would not have finished. I just didn't care about the characters. I didn't care about the story. Just nothing pulled me in. Don't let anyone tell you that this is a book with dragons, because they are literally mentioned maybe 3 times in the entire, almost 500 pages. It's not a story about dragons. So don't let anyone tell you that it is. It's also not a romance. It is a fantasy. That's all I'm going to say. It's a fantasy. But anyway, let me know if you read it, if you liked it, if you are reading it, how you're feeling, Discord, all of that fun stuff. And I wish you all an amazing week. Thank you so much for coming back to hang out with me this week. We've got some exciting things to announce coming up. I don't want to announce them too early. So maybe next week I'll announce one of them. Yeah, we've got 2 exciting things to announce. So maybe I'll drop one next week and drop one the following week. If you celebrated Valentine's Day or are doing anything special for the weekend, it is Valentine's Day here in the States today. I wish you a happy Valentine's Day. Mr. Froggen and I don't do anything spectacular. We're going out for a late lunch / early dinner this afternoon. And that's it. We're just gonna hang out together, have a nice meal. Just nothing special. So all of that to say, I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you again so much for joining me. If you're liking what I'm doing, give it a like, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I will see you all right back here next week, same time, same place. And until then, happy making.